You spoke the words, and soon you will die for it. Your only chance is this. Uncover the horrible truth and stop the evil. But in order to do that, you must stay alive.
You know when you have a friend that you want to show a horror movie to and they've never seen it and you get excited? Well, in the early 2000s, there were a slew of these type of horror movies that kind of flew under the radar and no one ever talked about. And one of those movies was the greatest video game horror movie that wasn't actually based on a video game. And that movie is Stay Alive.
Stay Alive? Never heard of it.
Yeah, this could be nice. Sweet Sebastian Bach, I want to play.
Millie, you signed in yet?
I'm here.
All right, let's boot it up. The name of this game is Stay Alive. We don't know much else other than we're not supposed to have it.
Whoa.
You guys feel that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, what's that? What's that?
Damn it, man, she got me. Some woman, man. Hey, somebody out there?
Millie, who are you talking to, man?
You play the game too long. You know, you start seeing stuff. Hello?
Now, when I say this is the greatest video game movie not based on an actual video game, in reality, that's what it is. Stay Alive essentially is a story about a video game that comes to life and kills you if you die in the video game. Not a very complex storyline. The opening for this movie was awesome. It opens up with a video game that looks super hyper realistic for that time period. Graphics were nothing like how they are today. When you look at this movie, this is pretty much a prediction for how graphics are going to look 10 years down the road, which is insane. If you don't believe me, take a look at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and then look at Grand Theft Auto 5. Within that 10-year jump, it's insane how graphics look. In the year 2006, we only had the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the Wii. And let's be honest, nothing like this would be out on the Wii ever. But as the intro of this movie's playing out, I realized, wow, I wonder if PT got inspiration from this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, PT is the canceled new Silent Hill game that was going to be released by Konami, and then Konami fucked everything up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's just the graphics alone. It looks like an actual game of today. And I wish that a game like that would come out today that looks that good. We don't have horror video games nowadays that have the elements of Silent Hill, that have the elements of Fatal Frame, that have the elements of Resident Evil from back in the day. What we have now are cookie cutter horror video games where it's action, shooting, you know, there's a little bit of horror elements, a little bit of survival elements, but not really, because you just get everything replenished over and over again. You don't really have to worry about hoarding your ammunition or your health packs or anything like that. This isn't back in the day of Resident Evil 2 or back in the hill of Silent Hills anymore. The sad thing is, you look at this, you watch this movie and you remember the games of those times and you get a little sad because you wish, as a fan of survival horror, movies and video games, that things would go back, take a step back maybe 10 years ago, Stop holding our hands. Stop acting like we're retarded. I can play a video game. I don't need your help from the publisher or developer. And that's the way it is. The tropes that this movie throws out when it comes to horror movies, video games, and people that play video games are hilarious. And they're done in a tasteful way. They're done in a comical, satirical way instead of how you would see the media try to play it up as, you know, gamers are drooling idiots that live in their mom's basements and they do nothing for society and they can't even wipe their own asses on their own. They're basically all Eric Cartman sitting around shitting in a box waiting for their mom to come pick it up.
How was it?
Played this new game called Stay Alive.
Seriously, man, sick as shit since Fatal Frame. It was creepy.
Real creepy. But,
You gonna make it over here? Can you come over? You wanna come over?
dude.
Look, I'll come up this weekend. We'll burn it solid.
I'll see you this weekend.
Late.
Touch me, a-hole.
A-hole, dude?
Profanity is for the feeble-minded.
Well, I'm effing sorry I offended you. Fuck ass. Are you ready for a good night, bro?
I can't stay too late. I gotta double back to Cedar and assess how the naughty network glitch for the theta pledges.
Okay.
I'll wait the night of the dilemma.
Well, you could also take the skirt off and join us playing this virgin game. Would you?
Virgin?
Yes. It kind of moves along at a snail's pace.
Left, go left, go left. Left on your left, on your left.
Left! Left! God damn it, you noob!
Okay, and you leave my nails. And you leave my nails.
Now, granted, the movie's not perfect. Of course, there's a ton of plot holes within this movie. As I watched it, I just think about how, as characters are dying off and their friends are watching their other friends die, they're just like leaving their bodies in random areas as things happen. Like, for a perfect example, when October dies, the character October, when she dies, they just leave her body in some pre-built house. And they never touch upon what happened with her after that. It's a little strange. There's also things that are never touched upon about the video game itself, like how the one developer that made this game ended up making a haunted game. That's never really touched upon how he did it. In fact, we don't really ever get to hear much out of the guy except for, oh, your friend should have not taken my game. It's like, okay. Not only is there plot holes within the movie and elements of the movie that are never explained, but you're also presented with some of the most unrealistic situations that you would ever find, such as a goth sister and her stoner brother running this video game coffee shop in the heart of New Orleans on the street of Mardi Gras. Like, are you kidding me?
So he was a real gamer, huh?
Yeah.
Any good titles in the bag?
I'm not sure. Check it out.
Oh, damn, y'all.
Stay Alive? Never heard of it.
Yeah, that was the game. He's playing that the night he died.
So as they're playing the game and their friends are dying in the game, they're getting killed in real life. So again, you're hit with another unrealistic situation because the main character, Hutch, decides he's going to do his own investigation work and goes, my friends are dying. I'm going to do my own investigation and break into police files. Yeah. So somehow he goes back to his place of employment where his friend was just murdered the night before and somehow breaks into the computer database of the police and prints off all of the crime scene photos of their friend's murder. It doesn't make any sense, but yet again, horror video game movie. You could do a lot worse. So they realize that the video game can end up playing on its own, and the video game is actually haunted and still hunting them even though they're not playing the game.
Oh, shit.
Bitch, that's cheating! I'm not dead yet!
So what they find out, because they didn't notice when they drove up to the developer's house the first time, that there's this giant cemetery in the backyard of the developer's mansion, and they didn't see it for some reason when they came up the first time. For some reason, they didn't see a giant tower back there.
This is Carouge Plantation.
We're in the bitch's backyard.
They find out that this witch, Elizabeth Bathory, her ghost and her body are actually in his backyard. And in order to free themselves of this death curse that they put on themselves from the game, they need to find her, kill her, to lift the death curse that the video game instilled upon them. This leads into one of the funniest and cheesiest romantic horror video game movie scenes ever.
What? We don't have the time! Just think about it, you gotta finish this!
No. I'm not leaving you.
I want you to go. Your only chance. Okay?
This can't be happening. Let her take you.
I know. Be careful now.
So somehow, another plot hole at the very end of the movie. Once they free themselves of the curse and the witch is dead and everyone seems to be going home happy, even though they have no idea what they're going to say to the police when they find all their friends' dead bodies and everything else that's going on. And not to mention they were kind of on the lam and on the run from the police. How are they going to prove anything that had happened during this entire journey that they had in this entire movie? I don't know. Maybe that's why there's never a sequel, because they all went to prison at the end. But the final plot twist is that the same GameStop employee we saw earlier in the film is unboxing some new inventory. And lo and behold, what's inside? A box of brand new Stay Alive games. Never touched upon where it came from or who sent it when the developer was found dead in the house within the movie. So, plot twist. So, in the end, the video game is going to win because I guess everyone that plays this video game is going to get cursed and die. Kind of like The Ring. Except I don't know how many people are going to be bright enough to break this curse and go to that graveyard over and over again. Especially because now that some of the main characters that actually knew what was going on are probably going to go to prison, and the developer that they got a hint from about the video game is now dead. So I don't know how that's going to work out. At the end of the movie, you see the display for the game, you see the Game Informer manuals for the game, and you're just like, man, I really wish I could get my hands on this, because, yeah, it reminds me of back of a time when video games were good and horror movies were good. Not so much now anymore. I mean, the Evil Within 2 is going to be coming out soon, and I could give a crap about it coming out because The Evil Within wasn't very good in the first place. It was nonsensical, it was hand-holding, and it was nothing like Resident Evil 4, no matter what fanboys want you to believe. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give Stay Alive an 8. Is it the best movie? No. But is it the best video game movie not based on a real video game? I think so. It's one of those movies you can't take incredibly serious. The beauty of this movie, and the beauty of the movies that came out in the early 2000s that were not serious horror related, were ones you had to be there for. The thing is, if you didn't grow up around this time era of these movies, or these video games as a matter of fact, you're not going to get probably the full effect of the charm that this movie had to provide. But it is one of those movies, if you have a friend who plays video games and loves horror video games and loves horror movies and has never seen this, this is a must-see for them. This is a must-see for you if you've never seen it. I mean, this movie references the Konami code, for God's sakes. If that's not proving that this movie's hardcore into the gaming culture, then I don't know what is.
But I just figured out how to strip one of those zombie concubines naked.
That is what I'm talking about. How do you do it?
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA.
Boobs.
Come on, you guys.
It's got horror elements. It's got gore. It's got video game tropes. It's got video games. And it's got... The thing, when I say it has video games, it's not just like, oh, you know, it shows a picture of a video game. No, it actually gives real references to real video games at that time. Even though the hint that Dutch gives his boss is for Silent Hill 4 really is for Silent Hill 1.
Okay, and one reason only. Now, the walkthrough says I dumped the ammo and the boss dies.
I'm sorry. We're not still talking about Silent Hill 4, are we?
Why, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn. All right. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, you got the hyper blaster.
Do I look like an asshole? Yes, I have the hyper blaster.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Dump it. I mean, it's got unlimited ammo. Nullifies the secret. Hey. Can I get tomorrow off?
Let me think about this. No. I need it to get to the final boss.
Well, and beat her straight up. It's the way God intended.
You know, Hutch, if you put as much effort into clerking as you did into gaming, you can end up like me someday. You know that, right? Okay.
But the funny thing is, you would know that if you're a true hardcore video game person. And it's awesome because you know that this movie was made for people that love horror video games and love horror movies. And you gotta love how the rumble noise goes on whenever something bad's gonna happen, because it happens about 50 times during the movie, and you could totally make a drinking game out of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you've never seen this movie and you're gonna watch it today or whenever soon because of this review, let me know, and then let me know your thoughts. Alright guys, well, have a good night.
Close your eyes, I want to ride the skies in my sweet dreams. Close your eyes, I want to see you tonight in my sweet dreams.
Funky.